Hello and welcome. We are very proud to present our Artist in Residence of 2017. We are here in the View Contemporary Art Space in Saallenstein, Switzerland, right above the Lake of Constance. And we have very particular spaces and venues. And we are here sitting in the former water basin of Berlingen. And Teresa Diehl did two site-specific pieces for this wonderful venue. How did it feel for you to do these pieces in our strange and maybe special venues?
That's one of the things is I love the space. I love the feeling of the space. I love the procession, the ritual of walking in here, going under the ground, especially in the one in the cave. You know, the whole history, you know, it's like if walls can talk, what would they say? What happened in here? You know, and it feels so contained. You feel isolated in a certain way, but it becomes challenging to connect the reality that we lived when this kind of like protected space, you know what I mean? It's like a little underwater shelter kind of thing. But also, I love the idea that the concept of a reservoir is where you hold things, when you store things.
Absolutely.
And what is my reservoir in here? But this is like almost like the collective unconscious, my conscious, my subconscious being, you know, contained into these two little spaces, having a conversation with each other.
Yeah.
So the spaces are really fantastic. I mean, they're really inviting to be used, and they're surprising, little surprises like at the entrance with the glass. You know what I mean? Like we did some rear projections from underneath and from above. So let the space talk to you, and that is something that was interesting about in here. There was no premeditated layout of the strings of the the layout of the labyrinth in here. I had to let the space tell me what it wanted. So truly, you know, installation art for me is that conversation on the space and the artist, and you have to collaborate with each other.
And I really think that's special, especially also because when we got the space here, it was totally contrary to what it is right now. We got in a relationship with other architects, and they really carefully tried to put up this layer so we could use it as an art installation space. And it was a really long relationship and talking about how to use the space, how to appropriate the space. And I really love it when you came in to tell, like, the space will tell you what it needs.
You have to, you are a guest in the space. That's why, for example, I love the spider webs in the corners. I mean, it's like I keep looking at them and I'm going like, let me work with you, let me incorporate you. The spiders were living in here before I came to visit the space. So, so how can I weave what exists in here and what is my perception and the understanding of the space to the idea that I want to convey in my work? So. Again, the idea of dialogues.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
the space has to have a dialogue with the artist has a dialogue with the viewer. And it's about that communication. It's about give and take. It's not a monologue. It's my idea, I want to impose it in here, and this is the way I want it alone. No, we have to be flexible. We have to compromise. We have to adapt to the situation. So if there are challenges, we overcome them. You know what I mean? That's what it boils down to, you know, problem solving. You work with it. And the space, the fact that we couldn't put a nail in here, forced us to think, how do we connect from the floor to the ceiling without damaging the space? So you adapt, you figure it out.
And I love it because this artistic practice is kind of guiding also for your pieces, because it is about guidance through the world, through the images you see. It's also for the visitor, kind of in the core of all the pieces, that you form a relationship, that you go through the space and that you see how the pieces, the installation reacts and interacts with you, with the spaces, and you kind of intuitively find your own space, your own little part within the installation.
I always remember Carlos Castaneda and the teachings of Don Juan, when he is trying to find where he belongs, where he feels right. And he always tells them, well, follow a dog, look at a dog. And follow the dog the way he comes in a space and sniff different corners. And then when you see the dog plop on the floor, that is the safe spot. So I want the viewers to walk through the work and find where is your spot, where you want to go, where you want to explore, where do you want to stay, where do you feel that you feel refuge in the work, or you feel an agreement, you know, or you feel like, I want to stay here, you know what I mean? But I don't want to tell you where. I don't want to dictate that to you. I want you to experience. Because at the end, you know, for me, the work deals with all the senses. We perceive art with all the senses. It's not just about seeing something. It's not about being a silent participant in the work. You know, it's kind of like, I look at you and that's it. I want you to disappear in the space. I want you to merge with the space. Without you, the space means nothing. It's just the artifact. So it's your movement, your experience, your being here that activates what the work is about.
This is what I really love about your practice, that is like layering a lot of experiences, but it's enough space for the visitor to come in with his own layers, his own experiences. It's not like you're imposing a certain worldview. You're like, you go into the spaces with your own narration in the back, and you go in, you see the piece, and you can interact, and you can feel due to your own experiences as a visitor, and feel safe, afraid, whatever you feel like. It's like a very open piece. At the same time, you trigger certain things. And I mean, if the triggering works or not depends, I think, a lot also on the experiences of the visitor. If he has experienced it by himself, all the crisis, all the trauma, or if he feels it just like mediated through the newspaper, it's a total other experience you're gonna have.
But that is what is rewarding about, because then I get to learn, you know what I mean, about other people's ideas and how they think, how they feel. That's, for me, is so kind of like, I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to see how it affects, what triggers, because that will lead to the next work. You know what I mean? So it's again, it's a symbiotic relationship. I give you, but you give me. It's a conversation. Truly, I want them to bring their baggage. You know, some people feel like this is a nightmare. They're afraid of birds, but some people feel that they can let go. There's some will think that it's a spiritual piece. Some they think that it's kind of like a forest. Some they think it's a dream. It's fine. But again, what you said was beautiful. That it triggered something. I just want to be like the switch. I'm just the match lighting up. But how big the fire goes, I mean, I think that that's when the conversation of the work with the viewer, I think, is really important.
And one thing that is very apparent in this piece is that you put so much labor in it. You put so much time in it. It's so much effort, so much sacrifice. But on a certain moment, it's like you give back dignity to a certain kind of narration. And I think it's very intriguing. Once you come into the spaces, you're gonna see the labor someone puts in, and that's putting you into a certain perspective, also to acknowledge the fact that your artistic practice is valuable. It's valuable because it put time in it. And it's like something that I feel in our times right now, we lack so much time. And I really appreciate to see pieces and moments and also narration that takes time. And it's also like you come into the space and you give back your time. And as a visitor, you're like in a total other time zone, kind of, because these spaces do feel out of the ordinary. You come in and they feel like you're in another space, in a parallel space, and you can be safe and you can be in an interaction. I think these spaces need to be experienced like individually. I think it's like something people won't talk too much in the spaces. They will go out and then they talk about the experience, or they will actually take it back home and be like, I don't know, and then talk about it later. But I think it's like a diary. I hope that a lot of people will gonna write down all the experiences. We get little diaries back.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I mean, I always love to hear feedback from the viewers. You know what I mean? Because I wish I could. You know, I like that conversation. I like that kind of dialogue. But it just we learn from each other, and you know, the nice thing about having a space like this is being able to materialize a dream, materialize a vision, you know what I mean? And that I'm very thankful to the View for this opportunity that they gave me to be able to, you know, materialize that work. And although you're right, it's very time consuming, but I feel like you have to pay your dues. You know what I mean? You have to give something of you. It's not, it's like, it is a ritual, it is a process. You know, we see it in praying, we see it in cooking, as we one time talked. We see it in the process of the ritual of building something, you know, like the way life is brought slowly. I mean, we were not formed in one day, it took us 9 months, you know what I mean? So everything takes, it brews, it grows. And I want the piece to be able to define itself that, you know, I started like a small little string of fish line, the most ordinary household material, and I grew into this. So the transformative power of art through care, love, time, you know, you give something. In each bead, there's a little piece of me. In each crochet knot, there's a little piece of me. And it's like, if I'm taking the time from the viewer, I'm making them get out of their house, out of their comfort zone, making them come in here to see the work, I have to give something to you. I have to give you my offering. And my offering is me, it's my work, it's my energy, it's my life. I give you part of my life. For what? Let that dialogue begin.
Oh, thank you very much. I think that's been it. And thank you for your work. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for being.
Thank you. Thank you, The View, and I hope you come to see it and experience it.
Great. Thank you.